Welcome student on another video lecture. Today's topic is quality control of herbal drug product. The quality control test should be performed according to the manufacturer's specification and other available information where the standards tests are not prescribed. So quality control test should be performed according to the manufacturer specification, whatever the specification which is given by the manufacturer and whatever the information available about the quality control of that particular herbal formulation, that should be undertaken. Quality control section should verify all the raw materials monitored in process, quality check and control the quality of finished product being transferred to the finished goods store or warehouse. So the quality control section should verify all the raw materials which are used to prepare any herbal formulation and also monitor the in process manufacturing of herbal formulation and finished product also checked, quality of finished product also checked, quality control or evaluation tests are performed on the finished product before that finished product will store in finished goods store or warehouse. An expert should be appointed for such quality control process and following facilities should be provided within the quality control section. So the quality control expert person should be there so that he will monitor the quality of herbal formulation from raw material in process to finished product. The quality control section should be of 150 square feet area. The area of quality control section should be minimum 150 square feet. Reference book and sample should be maintained for easy identification of raw drugs. Whatever the raw materials which are used to prepare any herbal formulation, the samples of that raw drug should be maintained in that quality control section so that it will helpful for morphological evaluation and identification of the material which is supplied, and the reference book should be available to study the evaluation or identification of raw drug. Manufacturing records for various process should be maintained. Whatever the manufacturing procedures or steps which are or whatever the things which are needed to manufacture any herbal formulation, that complete manufacturing record of various process should be maintained so that the best possible process which is giving good quality herbal formulation, that should be used to manufacture that herbal formulation. Control samples of finished product of each batch should be kept for 3 years for verification of finished product. Whatever the finished product which are prepared or manufactured in that manufacturing area, the samples from each batch should be maintained for 3 years for verification. The conditions under which raw materials, semi-finished and finished products are stored should be controlled and monitored. The contamination of raw material, contamination during processing of herbal formulation as well as contamination of finished product should not occur. To prevent that, the proper conditions which are required to maintain the raw material, to maintain the control the temperature as well as control the air of that particular area where there is manufacturing will takes place, that is semi-finished product, and finished product should be stored in such area that it should be protected from microbes, insect, rodents, all these. For that reason, whatever the conditions which are needed for raw material, which is needed for finished product, which is needed for semi-finished product, that should be controlled as well as maintained and monitor, continuously monitor. Record should be maintained for establishment of shelf life and storage requirement for the drug. What is the shelf life of that particular herbal formulation? To determine the shelf life as well as to maintain the shelf life of that particular herbal formulation, proper record should be maintained of shelf life as well as storage conditions for the drugs, how that particular herbal formulation is stored and what is the shelf life of that herbal formulation, that should be maintained, that should be established. Manufacturers should provide their own specification and control references with respect to manufacturing Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani drugs. Manufacturers should provide their own specification and references for manufacturing Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. The record of each method, procedure carried out by manufacturer for general as well as specific preparation, that is Bhavna, Vardhana and Puta, that is Adan pits, should be maintained. Whatever the procedure which is required to prepare any herbal formulation in Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs, proper specific procedure should be followed and it should be maintained. The general or specific specification should be maintained. The standards for identity, purity and strength should comply with standards given in pharmacopoeias of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani medicine system published by the Government of India. So whatever the standards which are required for identity of that drug, purity and strength should comply with the standards which are given in pharmacopoeias. These are the official book, and whatever these are the official book which are published by the Government of India, and whatever the standard it is given in pharmacopoeia, the herbal formulation should comply with the identity, purity and strength with that standard which is mentioned in official book. Raw material should be monitored for fungal and bacterial contamination to minimize such contamination. So the raw material should be monitored for fungal and bacterial contamination. The raw material should not be contaminated due to fungus, due to bacteria, and the contamination should be minimized. The quality control section should have at least one person with degree qualification in Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani as per Schedule 2 of Indian Medicine Central Council Act 1970, 84 of 1970 from a recognized university or board, provided that a Bachelor of Pharmacy, Pharmacognosy, Chemistry should be associated with the quality control section. So quality control section must have one person with degree qualification, and that degree qualification may be from Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, or it may be a Bachelor of Pharmacy, mostly Pharmacognosy, and the chemistry should be associated with quality. He is working with the quality control section. He is having experience of quality control section. Requirements for sterile product. Sterile products means parenteral preparation, where when the manufacturing of parenteral preparations which require aseptic techniques, that whatever the requirements for manufacturing of that parenteral products, that should be as follows. A separate enclosed and specially designed area should be provided for manufacturing sterile Ayurvedic, Unani and Siddha drugs. So a separate enclosed and specially designed area should be provided for manufacturing sterile preparation, mostly parenteral preparation from Ayurvedic, Unani and Siddha drugs. The area should be free from dust, should have airlocks for entry and should be ventilated with an air supply. So air supply should be there and it should have airlocks for entry and it should be free from dust. Bacteria retaining filters, that is HEPA filters, that is high efficiency particulate air filters, which remove dust particles about 97 to 99% dust particles, microbes, bacteria, airborne particles, pollen should be removed by using HEPA filters, and they can remove the particles up to a size of 0.3 micron, and the high pressure than the adjacent area should be fixed in the areas where aseptic manufacturing has to be carried out. The performance of these filter should be checked at the time of installation and after periodic intervals, and related record should also be maintained. In the sterile manufacturing area, the surface should be designed such that they facilitate cleaning and disinfection. So manufacturing of sterile preparation is there, complete aseptic technique should be maintained, and for that reason there should be design should be such that it will facilitate cleaning and disinfection. Proper cleaning should be done and disinfection should be done by using disinfectants, and the area should be such that, or routine microbial counts of all Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani drug should be performed during the sterile manufacturing process. The result of such count should be checked against the established in-house standards. Record should also be maintained. So, routine microbial count, daily microbial count of Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drug should be performed, so that the microbes which are present, that should be within limit. The result should be counted and it will be checked against the standards, whatever the standards which are mentioned in the official book. That means how much microbial count is allowed and how much percent of microorganisms are allowed, which type of microorganisms are allowed, which are not allowed. That should be counted and checked. There should be minimum access to the sterile manufacturing area. Only authorized personnel should be allowed to enter. Specific procedure should be followed while entering and leaving the sterile and manufacturing areas, and that procedure should be displayed at the entrance. So there should be a minimum access to the sterile manufacturing area, and only authorized personnel, they are wearing proper uniform, that is sterile clothes and cap on hairs, so that the dust particles from that hairs will not enter into that area. Proper authorized person with proper uniform only should be allowed to enter, and specific procedure should be followed while entering and leaving the sterile manufacturing area, and that procedure should be displayed at the entrance. Whatever the procedure which is needed to enter into the manufacturing area where the sterile preparations are manufactured, or enter into the aseptic area, the procedure to enter into that area, that should be displayed at the entrance. The design of area for manufacturing of Ayurvedic, Siddha, Unani drugs that can be sterilized in their final container should be such that the product should be sterilized and prevented from getting mixed with or taken to be product already sterilized. So mostly the aseptic techniques are used and the proper sterile conditions are maintained during manufacturing of parenteral preparation or sterilized preparation, but sterilization should be done after preparation or after the product is filled into the final container. That will be prevent the contamination of the product. The products should remain more sterilized when they are sterilized after filling into the final containers. For terminally sterilized product, the design of area should prevent mixing up between non-sterile and sterile product. There should not be mixing between sterile and non-sterile product if terminally sterilized products are used. So proper care should be taken to prevent the mixing of these two. Precautions against contamination and mix. The manufacturing operation should be performed in an isolated area of the same building or another building. The process area, an appropriate pressure differential device should be installed. The germicidal efficiency of UV lamps should be checked timely and recorded, showing the burning hours and checked using intensity. So manufacturing operation, it should be performed in isolated area of same building or another building. Process area, appropriate pressure differential device should be installed. Germicidal efficiency of UV lamp should be checked. Adequate exhaust system should be installed within the premises. So whatever the gases, whatever the contaminated air should be there, that should be removed. For that reason, proper exhaust system should be there. Laminar flow sterile system should be present for sterile products. To for in laminar airflow, there is HEPA filter which prevent the entry of microbes, airborne particles, and it will remove all these up to a size of 0.3 microns. So such type of laminar airflow, horizontal and vertical types of laminar airflows are available, and due to laminar airflow there is unidirectional flow of air should be there with uniform velocity and in uniform direction, and that will help to maintain the sterile air inside the area where the manufacturing process should be carried out. Each filled container of liquids or an ophthalmic solution should be analyzed against black and white background installed with diffuse light to ensure they are not contaminated with any foreign suspended matter. So filled container of liquid and ophthalmic solution, they should be analyzed against black and white background. If any particulate matter should be there, or it is contaminated with any particulate matter, that should be tested against black and white background. An expert technical staff appointed by the licensing authority should check and compare the actual yield against theoretical yield before the batch is released for final distribution. So expert technical staff should be there to compare as well as to check the batch before it is released for its final distribution. All the process should be carried out as per the master formula. Whatever the master formula should be there to prepare any formulation, that process should be followed, and according to formula only the formulation should be prepared. All the parameters including adequate room temperature, relative humidity, volume, field, leakage and clarity should be checked. Associated result should be recorded. So the parameters which are including that required room temperature, relative humidity and volume, leakage, clarity should be there, clear preparation should be there, the containers are not leaked, proper volume should be filled into the container, and room temperature as well as relative humidity should be maintained and checked. All these are the requirements for sterile manufacturing products. Thank you.